Hey traders, just want to go over FST, a trade we took today. When we first saw FST, we noticed that it was beaten down a lot, worse than the market has been. It's lost about 50% of its total value in a couple of months. We had this huge gap down just the other day where it lost like $4. We're noticing that it finally might have put in a temporary bottom down here. We saw a nice doji candle form yesterday with a pretty good volume. Currently, it is very oversold as we look at the stochastics down here. Anything under 20 is oversold. Anything under 10 is really oversold, which is what we really like. These kind of plays work pretty well when this type of market, when things get beaten down a lot, they'll tend to snap back really hard, and when the market starts to run back up, which we did see yesterday at the close. So it's hit our radar. We're also looking at good risk reward. I mean, it's technically has enough to fill this gap, which is a couple of bucks. We would never stay in it that long, but it does have the potential. Today, it did actually break out higher and break into the gap and start moving on even better volume. It's still oversold, but it's definitely starting to look like it's about to come out. Today we set our buy-in order above this day's high when it took it out over here on the 5-minute chart. It took out this day's high. We want it in, and it did that right around here. This is when we got in at about 10:05. It pushed up a little bit higher, then it began to flag down. I had to work off this overextendedness. All these white candles, all these up candles couldn't last forever, so it did have to work off. It's overextended. It did it in an orderly fashion by a nice, what we call a bull flag. It's a nice orderly pullback. It's easy to monitor, it's easy to maintain. It's not a bunch of random big drops, so that's always good. It did break out of the bull flag and push even higher. We scaled out half of our position at 10.20. When we scale out, we also go ahead and move our stop loss to our buy-in price at 10.05. We do this because it secures some profits for us. That means the trade is going to be profitable even if it comes back and stops us out. It also leaves us in there to, just in case it decides to run higher, we're still a part of the trade. We see it as getting the best of both worlds. Unfortunately, it did stop us out a couple of minutes later, 30 minutes later, down here at 10.05. And then it began to fall back to where it opened. And then it began to base. Unfortunately, after I got stopped out, I moved on to other trades. If I was smart, I would have seen that it was beginning to base right back under 10.05 again. It's almost a perfect setup. I should have been in it on this break. I should have bought more here and wrote it up and been in overnight, but unfortunately I did not. I did not see that. That was my mistake. Overall, I give myself a C plus on this trade. I did make a little bit of money, but I missed the big run, and I could have at least added in another position here. I hope this helps on getting ahead of squeeze plays because they can snap back pretty hard.